The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CNS Channel 6.
Guyana, full of resources. The potential breadbasket of the Caribbean, a country where academic excellence, standards, and foreign policy were beyond comparison in this part of the world. Today, unfortunately, the same cannot be said. Disasters are frequent. Corruption is rampant. Workers are dissatisfied. The cost of living and of basic utilities seems beyond the reach of the poor. School children are fighting for better educational facilities and system, while the suffering of the poor continues. However, the leader of the Justice for All party, C.N. Sharma, provides an opportunity for these problems to be highlighted. He traversed this country and will continue to do so to places where no other political leader goes, places where people suffer on a daily basis, places that to other leaders seems not to exist, places where the people's voices are important, a voice crying out for help, a voice that can foster change, the voice of reality, so powerful, the voice of the people.
Good day, and today is Tuesday, the 19th day of February 2019, and as you know, in 4 days' time we have the celebration of Republic Day. Now, this is our agenda for today. Firstly, dual citizenship. Second, love and unity among people. 3, noise nuisance. 4, lawlessness in our society. 5, corruption. 6, rice. 7, sugar industry. 8, crime. 9, the destitute. 10, cost of living. 11, vandalism of property. And 12, GCOM elections. And right away we see that Christopher Ram, it's mentioned in today's Kaicho News, is asking police to investigate MPs who have dual citizenship and who have been sitting in Parliament. So he is very proactive. People said maybe a little too proactive, but he wants, I don't know, he wants the police to investigate him, and I don't know if why he's going to such extreme, but that is his right, I guess. And then you have also the bauxite standoff. Rusal, the bauxite company, which is run by the Russians and which the government of Guyana has about 20% shares in, they have fired 6-to-1 striking workers. They put, it's like a mass, they didn't send individual letters out. It's just like a mass. I don't know if they put a notice on the board, but they just fired 6-to-1 striking workers and refused to meet with the Labor Department. So we've got to get these these people who come from foreign companies to respect our laws. This is really a blatant disregard for our people, total lack of respect when they can do that and they refuse to meet with the Labor Department. So this has gone to a certain extreme, and we hope that the government will handle it in the correct way. And wrangling over the elections, we saw the GCOM elections. APNU says voters list bloated. The PPP calls it valid. So there's still that fighting. No clear-cut decision has been made. What is happening? They should have given GCOM instructions to start preparing for the elections while they keep wrangling over this. So at least something should be done in the meantime. The commissioners should have said, look, start doing something. It is ridiculous, and that they are acting in this way. And we saw too that a medevac plane bringing the body of a missionary who had died in the interior crashed, but luckily the pilot and the policeman on board, they survived. So they were lucky to be alive and lucky to survive that plane crash which took place near the Canal Polder number 2. The Deaf Association also is protesting for driving license, but what I noticed when they had the program is like they're deaf and dumb. It's not just deaf. So I think they'll have to look and see If other countries are doing it, well, what is the objection? You know, if most countries are doing it, what is the objection to having deaf and dumb people driving? Now we have with us here today Mr. Jinnah Rahman, and he is going to have a look for us at the what has been said by Duke Pollard concerning the decision of Chief Justice George on the no confidence motion. So we
Thanks,
yes.
Jeff. And to our viewers, I mean, this whole question of the no confident vote will occupy us for the balance of this year, I guess, for the whole of next year, until the elections are due constitutionally next year, 2020. We saw during this period that there have been a number of commentators, particularly those from the legal profession, who have been giving different interpretation, as you know, about the no confident vote. One notable one in Sunday's paper is Professor Duke Pollard, who is a former judge at the Caribbean Court of Appeal. So this is not an ordinary person. He said that the acting Chief Justice ruling on the matter, particularly to do with the disabling of the government, is wrong. And he said that Article 106 and 107 has to be read conjunctively, meaning together and not separately. Yeah. I believe that listening to what her judgment, I think that she made a number of errors, not only on that one. The whole question about dual nationality is a criminal act of somebody, a citizen taking an oath and then lying to the public that they don't hold loyalty to other states in the world. And not only that, Charan Das should have been charged, should have been arrested and charged for declaring there in the parliament that he had dual nationality, but a number of people on both sides. And this is the hypocrisy of the politicians we have in this country. That on the one hand, they're the lawmakers of this country. Don't forget that. Our politicians on both sides are elected to parliament to make laws for all the people of this country, and nobody is above the law.
Yes.
The question about what worries Christopher Ram, and I think there is some merit in what he's saying, that the law should be applied to every single person. Nobody's above the law.
Yeah.
And therefore, if the politicians are found to have broken the law, especially those who have been elected to parliament, then they should be penalized. The law is very clear. The Constitution is very clear about the imprisonment of people who have actually breached the Constitution of this country. So unless we begin to start right at the top to try to bring back law and order in this country, the country cannot move forward.
You said the law speaks about swearing allegiance to another country.
Yes.
But in the case of Dominic Gaskin, right? He just was born in over there, but he never had to formally swear any loyalty to Great Britain. You know, so I think that might be an exception.
Well, you can stretch that argument to a great extent, you know, because all of us were born under British colonialism.
Yeah.
So therefore, we are automatically British. We lost our citizenship to the United Kingdom when Guyana got independence.
Yeah.
Now, that's the debate and discussion we need to have. But I don't know why the AFC is making a song and dance about that, because that's not the important issue.
Yeah.
Whether he remains in Parliament or not. The issue is, he was born in the United Kingdom. He has the right to travel and go to the United Kingdom without any problems. So he would have had some level of identity, would have had a British passport. Yeah. And if he's got a British passport, that implicates him. It doesn't
Okay.
extricate him from the
Okay.
other people who are born. Isn't it logical? Like he was born there, he has to have what recognizes him as a British citizen.
But what is it, the wording of the Constitution says who have sworn. So you might be born there, but if you didn't swear allegiance,
No,
then,
but
then you might
he
be,
has
you
not
might get
re-
off the hook.
Yeah, but he has not relinquished the question of dual nationality.
Yeah.
He does have dual nationality.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that
Why do
there's
they-
nothing wrong with dual, except
but
when you go into parliament, right?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with having a dual nationality, but our laws specify with
Correct,
parliament,
correct,
going
correct.
into parliament.
Yes, the moment you can have, there's nothing that the Constitution does not say that Guyanese cannot have dual nationality. They can have triple nationality.
Yeah.
But the moment you enter, you agree to put your name on the list, because that's where it starts. It doesn't start in Parliament, you know. Parliament does not have the obligation
Yes.
to restrict anybody who is elected to Parliament. It's not their jurisdiction. It's not their responsibility. The responsibility lies with the political party that places that person on that list and inform GCOM that person, it's their candidate on the list. When the declaration is signed by GCOM, not by the Parliament.
Yeah.
People are
but the
confusing
thing is
the
that
issue.
these are senior people in the party's hierarchy who are being challenged in this thing. Who should know better? Because I can understand a person coming off the street who will be elected to parliament might not know the laws, but they must be told this before they can go on the list.
We have,
You know?
on both sides, we have people who are lawyers.
Yes.
People who are lawyers who are
Yes.
supposed to have sworn as officers of the court.
Yeah.
And they are supposed to know these very basic laws. And if they don't know that, they are misfit to be
Yeah.
in our parliament in the first place.
But Sharon Das knew the law as well.
Sharon Das knew the law, but Sharon Das' case is a different case. I tell you why it's a different case. Because there is a conspiracy, and that needs to be established. So Sharon Das's matter is much more than a conscience vote.
It's much more complicated.
Because Mr. Jagdeo would not have put that vote of no confidence if he was not guaranteed that there's one or more than one persons who were willing to cross the floor.
Yeah, yes, we have a private call coming in.
No, don't take any private calls.
Yeah, because
Yeah, no private calls are allowed, because the reason we need to explain that is that people have called on the television and they make all kinds of insultive and derogatory remarks.
the name is there though, but it's just we don't
No,
know
but
the number.
if it's private, then you don't
Yeah,
take it. We
yeah.
have to guarantee the station. We cannot allow.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. Now, moving off a bit from this, other people might call in and they make their own comments. Mr. Jagdeo has had a meeting the other day where he I got the paper here, where he's open. He has an open meeting where he's calling on citizens to actually come and present their view of what should be in his constitution. It was unfortunate, and it's really a shocking thing that all the people who participated in the candidacy election for the presidency of the PPP, none of them were there. Irfan Ali was there. Anil Nandalal was not there.
This was a political meeting.
This is a meeting. I have a document. here.
Organized on the West Coast?
PPPC. No, it was in Georgetown. Look, both PPP track record. This is a document they issued. Somebody who was there brought it to me, and it's a PPP in consultation with a wide range of stakeholders. Is working on a detailed manifesto which will enable all our policies for improving the lives of
Well,
Chinese
he
people.
should make it public on a regular mainstream thing, but
No, yes, they have make it public. It's quite, but the people who were invited were organizations and civic groups and so on.
yeah.
But the point I'm making is that if he cannot get his own people to come, senior party people to attend, Frank Antony wasn't there, Anil Nandalal wasn't there, The other woman, Prasad, who was a candidate at the presidency, she wasn't there.
But when you had
Um,
the meeting at Red House, it was the opposite way around.
He did not
That was
attend.
chaired by Frank Anthony, I understand.
Yes,
And Ramkaran, Ralph Ramkaran is there, but then again.
Jagdeo did not attend.
Exactly. So,
Jagdeo sees himself as a king, you see. That's why he behaves. He's above everybody. Only when he has something, then he goes, but does not go to things that other people invite him to.
yes.
That is the problem we have.
Yes, we were not going to accept calls from people, from private callers, especially when their phone number doesn't come out here.
So don't waste your time on call. If
yes.
you're going to call private, you're not going to get.
And then the
on there.
Russell, the bauxite standoff is a serious insult to our people.
Look.
You know, the way a foreigner comes in and doesn't want to respect our laws and our people, it's ridiculous. And the Labor Department has to take a firm stand on
What
this.
we're seeing here today
Yes.
is what is called neo-colonialism.
Yeah.
We have a repeat of that. These companies, the American and Russian companies, come to this country, and the Chinese,
Yeah.
and they exploit our people, and they go away with billions of dollars, and there's no redress to it.
Yeah, let's get this call. Yes, good afternoon, voice of the people.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, there's one section talking about democracy. Now, for over 20 years, there were no local government elections.
Yes.
The PPP. So what they're saying, who knows, you're supposed to listen to these people. I mean, in 3 years, up nowhere to go in a local government election.
Yes.
Right? So I want them to remember that.
Yeah, I think the government is trying to keep within the law to make sure that we have a democracy and so on, you know. So it's just that you'll have criticisms all the time.
Not only one election, they had two local
You had two
government
local government elections,
Two
yes.
local government elections which were transparent. And in fact, it was a PPP who gained more seats than the governing party. So when they talk about democracy, I mean, this is a clear case where the government is exercising the right, giving
That's
people the
right.
right to
Yeah.
vote. And that
Yeah.
is not recognized by Mr. Jagdeo.
Yeah.
Good. All right then.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, voice of the people.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The current government is disrespecting the Constitution. They should throw it out. Don't rule the Constitution. Don't have a Constitution then. If this is how they're going to behave.
Why you say
What
that?
do you mean by that?
Why you say that?
Why do you say that?
Oh, he just, you know, as
just
I
want
said,
to
he's
make
very
a point.
partisan. He can't, what I'm saying, if you have a point of view, give the rationale, give what's the reason why you're saying this, why you have this viewpoint.
As you normally say, we have
We have
bunch
another
of-
private call, we're sorry we're not taking it.
bunch of illiterates. Look, let me go over this just for the purposes of discussion. All of us have to abide with the Constitution.
Yes.
There was a no confidence vote. The government conceded at the moment that they lost the vote, right? Eventually, they went to they went to the court, and the Chief Justice had made her decision, gave her judgment. There is an appeal. So
Yes.
we have three arms of government. We have the parliament, which is the legislative arm,
Legislative,
the
executive,
executive arm, and the judicial arm.
Yeah.
So the legislative arm took a decision. People objected to it legitimately, constitutionally, is now in the court. There is a legal process. Let us remind people, it is not unconstitutional that there is an appeal. The matter is in the appeal court. Either side will appeal against the appeal if, one, the appeal court throws it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure the PPP will challenge that. If the government is upheld, the government will also appeal to the Caribbean Court of Appeal. So we will have to allow the due process to take place. And I don't know why this nervousness
Yeah.
and people calling for an election. We have to allow this to happen. After the Caribbean Court of Appeal would have ruled, that will be the end of the process, and then the election would have been called after, either way.
But what some people are saying is that the process, you don't need to wait on that for the process of GCOM to say, well, look here, the commissioners meet and they agree, well, this is what we can do and what can be done in a certain specific time, you know?
But Jeff,
Yeah,
yes, GCOM has got to prepare for the elections. They
Yeah.
have to get things ready for the election, even if it's next year.
exactly.
Even if it's next year.
They don't wait until.
Yes, assuming that the court, the Caribbean Court of Appeal rule in favor of the government, it means that the government will continue to rule until 2020, May or August. But GCOM needs to prepare
Yeah.
from now on for that time to come, because it doesn't have much time, 1.5 years.
Okay.
Even if we go on for next year,
We're getting a call. Good afternoon, Voice of the
we
People.
have to note those calls.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good
Good
afternoon.
I just want to make a quick point
Yes.
about, you can call me the poor people man.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why poor people don't get vexed with the judicial system. Poor people in this country believe the judicial system favors the rich and the famous. Just hear me out. If I commit a crime, I go to the court. The judge jail me for 10 years. I want to appeal my case. I have to go to the jail.
Yes.
Why is my case is appealing?
Hmm.
But politicians have a different law for them. They lose the case. The chief justice
Yeah.
rules that the vote in the parliament has to be upheld because they the law of this country. If
Yeah.
we ain't got law, it's best we just close down the country.
Well-
If we ain't working with law, we ain't got no country, donkey.
Yeah.
Oh, hold it.
Why the politician them running around and tell how them still a minister? So the judge done rule. You got to abide by the rules till the appeal court said that's how we go throw the rule in. You can.
No, it doesn't work like
No,
that.
no, no.
It does not
A
work.
judicial appeal.
It does not work like that, my friend. Don't misinform the
listen
public.
me, Mr. Rahman, if I get jail and I appeal me case,
No, but
right,
that is
I
not a
go home,
this is a
or I go to jail.
my friend.
Listen to you.
This is a constitutional matter. It is not. It's not as
A
normal.
criminal- it's not a
It's not a
criminal
criminal matter. No, nobody. You are my friend. You are confusing yourself.
Coming up.
Listen, there has
Listen,
been.
me, don't make it up on the cell phone. I can't tell you. You're going to explain to me after.
Okay, well.
Constitutionally, the 24th, we ain't got no president and no minister now in this country, you know.
That is
So
not
you know
true.
y'all saying, but we got to
That
take
is
election.
not
What
true.
happened? The
That is
24th,
being-
people don't ain't getting work in this country.
Okay.
All the people are holding in their money because we heading to a disaster the 24th. And y'all up on the TV talking like nothing going on.
Nothing is going
Y'all go
on.
up on the road and
No,
see- you ain't got
nothing
work.
is going
You
on,
know
my
people
friend.
buy?
Nothing is going on. The government has got to manage the affairs of this country
Yeah, you don't-
until an election is called.
Well,
No,
you
no,
got
no.
to have a government. Look at
No.
it. Look
No,
what
we
is
got the government, we ain't got no minister. Well, what
No.
the minister they running about this place?
Look what
You
is
know the guy
happening.
needs money for.
Listen to me.
Look what's happening with Rusal. You got to have a government in place to
You
deal
have
with
We have a
such.
government, yeah, but we don't have ministers.
If you can't have government without ministers, what nonsense you
So
talking?
the
You
minister-
can't have government without ministers. Well, you tell us you have a voice to talk. Tell us. You have a voice. So
Go
express
ahead,
your
go
voice.
ahead.
Express your voice. See,
It's gone off. We got another call.
Okay.
Yes?
Mr. Sankey, look where the U.S. dollar's gone to.
Where?
The U.S. dollar is 220, 225 for $1 U.S. dollar, 100 U.S.
Where you went?
I went at King Street to change my money.
You're going to a cambio. I went into Republic Bank, as I told people, I saw it myself, right? 211.50. You must go into a regular place like that.
Why should I go there when I'm getting more money for it?
Well,
The crisis the government is not doing nothing to the country.
No.
Government.
Yeah, the
You
government is
you
not doing
getting
nothing
more
to the
for
country.
it?
The food
The
stuff,
government-
everything's
No.
gone up.
People want less. they want to make sure that they pay less when they buy U.S. currency. You're the opposite.
If people getting more, they will run for more money.
Well, those are people
Understand me?
who come from outside who want to change the money, but people who want to go and travel outside and so
This
on.
country is getting harder and harder.
no,
You
no.
understand me?
No, I don't. I
It's
don't.
getting worse.
No, you can't follow it with what the Cambios are doing. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Hi, Mr. Sankey. The country is getting worse for these 3.5 years, and it's going to get worse.
Well, that is your opinion, right? Okay. That is Mr. Jairam. Thank you, Mr. Jairam. That's the second time he's called you.
He's calling again. But he has nothing to say. That's the problem.
Yes.
Just make
He
comments.
just wants to make negative comments.
Yes.
And you know. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sankey.
Good afternoon.
Why this government is not coming out? Why?
Well,
Let him out, man. This country gone to the dogs.
Coming out,
yeah.
coming out
Well,
and
it
go
gone to
where?
the dogs, well, then you must be in charge.
Coming out and go where? Coming out and go where?
No,
Look,
no.
We had
You have to. You need a government in place until a new government takes over.
The Constitution says that, but they don't, some of them can't read. Sharma is right. You have more than 1/3 who are illiterate and
Let me
semi-literate.
just get this number.
People don't read anything, even the newspapers they don't read. It's very sad. You know, we have a level of illiteracy in this country that is alarming. And that didn't start during this government time, you know. The level of illiteracy among people started during the PPP era, during the Jackson time.
Mr. Sankey, don't bother these people with you talking. Why do you think the people take you off a blacklist? Because the government improve it, the country improving.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
When Janet showed the court had the branch back,
Exactly.
they had Lian Chan, they had this man Carl Singh.
Yes.
Nobody says nothing,
Yes.
right? And others people who die for, you kill how much people? How much black people?
All right. We
Anybody
don't-
saying anything? Nobody say nothing.
Okay, we can't.
No, we can't say it, but let people
yes.
let the government rule. We ain't getting this kind of killing.
Yeah.
We getting a good government. We
Yeah.
love this government. We
There's
don't
more
kill
law.
the
There's
set.
more law and order in that respect. Yes.
Yes, we love this government. This government got to be stay right here.
Yeah.
Without a government, the country can't rule.
Exactly. Look at the RUSA. Look at the striking workers there. We need to have people
Correct.
in charge who can make decisions. You can't just be in a vacuum.
Government
you
can't
know?
go in there
We
3 years
have
and develop this country so much.
yeah. We have a crisis with
You see the
Venezuela. People
doing
have to deal with that.
It is
Why?
true.
They don't understand that.
It is true that
The
as
previous
there's
government is doing just one area, but
Yeah.
if you're doing countrywide, so they have to give people credit.
Yes.
Look in the Amrinium village. Look, they get a portable water.
Yeah.
They get the light and all these things. Never get it before. They get, they call it health center and all these things.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah. A new government can't come into being until there's
This
a
money they're
change.
studying, they will have money just now.
Until there's an election.
Infrastructure is the main thing. You're going to see a country look shabby.
Yes.
You develop the country. People do fly over, walk over and talk about it. The people start put 4-lane road, they're speaking about it. What do you really want?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look, showing how these people will develop. Allow the people give the people a chance, man.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Enjoy your day, you and your next
Thank
gentleman.
you.
Thank you. Yes, you have to have a government in place, regardless. Suppose they said, okay, the government has to resign when the elections are held and a new government is coming in. If a new government is coming in, then that will apply. But we don't know about just. You can't leave a government, a country running like that.
Look, Douglas is making in his document here, making all kinds of predictions. You can create 50,000 jobs
Good afternoon, Voice
in the
of the People.
first 5 years.
Hello, Mr. Sankey. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You see all that war running down this government and feel they could move this government?
Yeah.
We waiting for them like land shark. Let them do anything stupid. This is all I got to say.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sankey, if you go through what they're saying that they are going to do, they had 23 years to do these things. He
Yes.
says that he's going to deliver 8 to 10,000 new house lots per
Yeah.
year. Mr. Sankey,
Yeah, because
Irfan Ali
Yeah.
had... Okay,
yes, sir.
Yeah, had it been the PPP in government and this crisis has come up in the country, we would have got a whole set of burning down and protesting all around the country for them to come out.
That is not true.
And,
We had a
prior to that, at 92 election, when the PPP won it, when Height had its protection at Coffee Square, at Square Revolution of these people, after you the term more fire, slow fire, what happened after then? A whole set of buildings started burning and people started doing a whole lot of
Friend,
things.
Yeah,
This
but
is
you are being selective.
This
What
is
happened
a-
between 1997
People don't
2000?
cut me. And prior to that, it had an election petition filed at 2015 election. That never heard up to now. If that was the new government that was had filed that petition, it would have got a whole set of it around the country also.
Yeah, you're being one-sided.
Listen, my
You don't
Not one side, that is
you're not
basic- that
mentioning
is
what
basic
happened
what is,
between
around the
1997,
country.
1997.
Look at when they was to raise the light bill for Linden North and Linden. What happened? After minister made people them
The
go to
people
Linden
of
and them going
London
down all
decided
kind of
that
thing
in the
Linden.
last elections.
Huh?
The
And now we
people,
have a peaceful protest and things quiet in the country with this situation. Look all along the world. If that situation is happening in all along other countries in the world, we don't have riot, routine, all kind of things that are going on in the country.
yeah. So what are you saying?
You just
No, what I'm saying
He has
is being
nothing-
one-sided. You forget the constitutional
He-
crisis
he
we had
has-
when Janet threw that thing over her shoulder.
has nothing
and then
to
year
say.
2000, again.
look.
But we had to call in these wise men of the Caribbean
Yes.
to solve our problems at that time. There were crises before.
Whenever it suits Jagdeo, the judicial system functions. When it doesn't suit him, it doesn't function. The judicial system needs to be improved further. We need to deal with all the other infractions. There's a lot of things that the government still needs to do. So it needs to continue its work until it comes to an end.
Yes. Good afternoon, voice of the people.
Hi, Mr. Sankey. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to talk about Mr. Barjagyo, why he killing all sort of people. When the black people killing them people are boxed and then so he wouldn't even come out and talk.
I don't know who killed who.
Well,
But
but this is the
let it
law,
be proven in a court of law, right? Who killed the minister and all of that? That thing has to be properly investigated.
So very one-sided.
Yes. Okay, we have to have a fair commission of inquiry. I'm
Yes,
not
there has
saying
to
one
be.
minute.
Some of these callers are right. The government needs to do more to implement some of these things. We need to set up a public inquiry about people who have been killed by mysterious
But
circumstances.
Bartica, they even
All
recently they're
these-
calling for the
Yes, so all
inquiry.
these things need to be set up, but it needs money. It also needs time to be able to do those things.
Good afternoon, voice of the people.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sankey.
Good afternoon.
Why arguing with those people? Those people that know nothing, they don't read.
Yes.
They don't read. If you don't read, you're in ignorance. You
Yes.
got to read.
Yeah.
Jagdo lead them. So don't worry them.
Yes.
Concerning Mr. Rahman with Mr. Gaskin, with the dual citizenship.
Yes.
Mr. Gaskin born in England.
Yes.
He got to get an England passport.
Yes, he has
Get
to.
Guyana passport.
That's-
Look, I born in Guyana, and I get Guyana passport.
Yeah, that's the point I was
Same
making.
thing with Mr. Gassin, he got to get a British passport. He can't get British. He's born in Guyana. He's born in England.
No, but he could be naturalized. He could get a Guyanese passport because
He
his
could get the-
parent,
he
if
could
his
get-
parent
he
is
could-
one parent or both
He
might
could
be.
get the Guyanese
He could
passport.
get a Guyanese passport.
Let me explain to this gentleman. My son was born in England.
Yeah.
He came here and he got a Guyanese passport and a ID card, and he could vote at this election. And the reason for that is because our constitution, Guyana, allows that. People who are coming from Venezuela with their children who are born in Venezuela have acquired Guyanese citizenship.
Because
they
one of
have-
their parents is
because,
Guyanese,
Because and
exactly.
it's not a violation of our law.
No,
But nobody's saying anything about Mr. Dominic Gaskins, where he was born. The question we're discussing here is when you go to the parliament, if you decide that you want your name to be put on the list to go to the parliament, then you have to declare
You
your
see-
loyalty
you
to
see,
this country.
Yeah, the point is too also that a lot of people ordinary people who might have been elected in Parliament might not have known this because the parties didn't bring up
It
this
is the
awareness.
duty of the party.
But the senior, what is happening, this involves senior members of the party who should know better.
Yes,
Yes.
Rupert Rupnarayan has dual citizenship. He should know. He should. And that matter was raised by Christopher Ram about 5 years ago. You know.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I don't know.
Yes, he raised it 5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dual citizenship is a different story. You got to think, but Mr. Gaskin was born in England.
Yes.
Okay, he born in England. When he come here, well, he's supposed to get a British Guyana passport, but you still can't say that he's on the dual citizenship. He can't be that.
Brother,
Why?
he has dual nationality.
He has dual nationality.
Before he arrived in this country, he had to come with a passport.
Yeah, but he come with a British
Good.
passport.
So he came with a British passport. That's the point
Yeah.
we're making. And when he arrived here, after some years, he would have acquired the right to apply to become a Guyanese citizen, which he did. So he has a Guyanese passport and he has a British passport.
Right.
Nothing is wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing is wrong with
Nothing
that.
wrong with that.
He can't be lecturer on that.
No.
No, that's a different thing.
That's a different thing, my
Yes,
friend.
yes. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Pollard.
Yes.
Mr. Pollard is right. I believe this is my belief. I am not a liar, but it's a simple case. It's a simple case. The case should have been till of Parliament. Dr. Barton should have done the case down, and the Chief Justice do the same thing. She don't have studied the case properly. This is my belief. I'm not if I'm wrong or right.
No, you're right.
Thank you.
You're right. I agree with you. Mr. Sankis,
Yes.
shall I go through this list by
Not the full
Not the
list,
full
because
list.
we got a limited time.
Not the full list. The point I'm trying to make is that some of these things that Mr. Jagdev is talking about is things that he implemented, like the VAT, for instance.
Uh-huh.
The VAT was introduced in this country at 16% by the PPP. He says he's going to reverse VAT on exports, reverse VAT on building material. Well, we didn't have VAT on building material. When I came to this country, I had to buy material. And the material I bought, cement and other things, it was VAT rated. So what are they going to do now? Are they going to do that? Are they going to, they said they're
Between
going to reverse it.
1999 and 2015, he had a lot of time to
Look,
do these things.
this government said that it will reverse VAT to what percent? 12%? It reverted to 14%.
We had said 10%, but let us see what this person is saying. Good afternoon, voice of the people.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Sankey.
Good afternoon.
I am seeing that this is a word for Mr. Rahman.
Yes.
You get another chance, Mr. Rahman. Don't sit there and bad talk this government.
What nonsense you're
Do
talking about?
not
I get another
do
chance.
it. You have
gave me
been
the
doing
chance.
it that this government
You
is
gave me the
doing
chance.
this and they didn't doing that and Ramjatan this. Do not do it.
Do not do what? Lady, you are calling to express your views. Please do that.
But that's what I'm
No,
doing is my
Well,
view
good, but
to
you
you.
don't get personal.
No, what he
And
did.
you must
You have the right-
Okay, let me-
You
Let
have
me-
the
let
right
me-
to
let
express
me
your
intervene. I
I
opinion.
am telling you, Mr. Sankey, you won Saturday. I thought it was a rebroadcast because I didn't know he coming back there. But
But-
let him get another chance. Let him sit down and behave himself.
Nobody banned me, sir. You
Listen
can't.
to me, Mr.
What nonsense?
Rahman.
What nonsense he's talking?
I don't know. No, what?
Listen to
No, what
me. It
nonsense
is
you're talking about?
my
I got any
view.
charge? What I was charged on? You charged me? Did
I
you charge me?
will charge you.
No. Did you charge
like
me?
You're hearing. I said behave yourself.
Who are you to tell me to behave myself? Who are you?
Let us not get into personal
Take
things.
take her up.
Okay,
nonsense.
thank
Who
you
the
very
hell
much.
is she to tell me to behave myself?
No, what I'm saying is that
She's damn rude and arrogant. That's what's up to her.
What I'm saying is that there was a criticism of some elements, like some ministers who might not be performing, and you
And
might
I
said
have
so.
repeated it over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yes.
The
But
ministers
that
who are
doesn't
not
mean-
the ministers who are not performing, we need to criticize them.
Yes.
The ministers who are doing things in the interest of the people, we should praise them.
Yes.
Okay? This is what this program is all about. And
Yes.
she can't call here on this program to discipline you.
Yeah. Good
To try to
afternoon.
discipline you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sankey.
Good afternoon, sir.
I've noticed Mr. Rahman is back on the program. I would like to welcome him.
Yes.
And I would like to say that when Mr. Rahman is there, he always make a tangible contribution.
Yes.
And he must be commended.
Yes.
He's an educated chap, and I miss him. And I wish to say that I welcome him back, and I wish him all the best.
Okay. Thank you.
Raymond, let me explain. Nobody took me off the program. I was busy, and I didn't come to the program. Nobody pays me to come here.
No, nobody pays.
Nobody pays
anybody.
neither Mr. Sankey. We come to the program on our own volition, voluntarily, to express our views and opinion, and people who are calling in do the same thing. We don't insult each other. We shouldn't do that. We would not tolerate that as panelists.
Okay. Good afternoon, Voice of the People.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for accepting my call. First, let me first congratulate the government for taking this situation step by step and in the righteous form. I think that they're in line with the Constitution.
Yes.
But what bothers me is that you're having an elite group of people on the opposition side who are very much intelligent, Mr. Blandalal and Mr. Jack Yu, and whosoever is involved in the PPP area of their intelligence.
Yes.
And if they were in office, and the coalition was the opposition, and the coalition had filed the motion against those who are in office, and they had defeated them the way the PPP had defeated, the PPP had got the data on both. The PPP would have done the same thing and follow every step that the government is taking. So I do think it is very hypocritical of Jack Yu
Yes.
and his party members to not come into the Guyanese people in an honest way, with honesty. They prove to be rogues and vagabonds with the way that they are dealing. They are not dealing as honest citizens.
We saw all the prorogue parliament when they saw the no confidence vote was coming.
That's right.
Yes, but I'm not going to deal with the prorogue in the parliament. What
Yeah.
I'm simply dealing, if they were government in office and the coalition had did the same thing what they have done, they would have followed the Constitution the same way.
Correct.
So why they come out and mislead the people? You see what 23 years of miseducating people brings about?
Well, there's a lot of fake news spreading about, especially on the social media. Now. People
Yeah,
put,
but
put,
no,
put in their own stories.
they have uneducated people. They have uneducated people for the past 23 years.
Yeah.
For the poor people of this country, they kept them ignorant. They kept them on alcohol. They kept them on entertainment and kept them like fools. They
Yeah.
didn't give the people any skills. They didn't give them any proper education. And then now they're taking advantage of these same people again.
That's right. That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Thank you for accepting my call.
That's
Long live the coalition.
Good.
Thank you.
Mr. Sankey, the gentleman is right.
Yes.
You see,
We
Good
have-
day, Mr. Shanky.
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yeah, good day. I talked to them, I was at 23 years. So 23 years, people alone nine. So about 28 years.
Well, you live a long time. How old are you?
It's 40.
But
you
you-
were
you-
born.
you-
You
okay.
weren't born during the PNC time.
I know what I'm talking about.
No,
sign
but you
and
were
sign.
not born during the
you,
PNC time.
you read about it in the history book or bored about?
Somebody tell you?
No, man. You
How
see
you know
now,
that?
man, you're talking this thing one-sided.
But you
Okay.
talking
I
one
talk
side.
them thing. You know,
Okay.
I
Okay,
accept the rules, come
okay.
on.
You tell us what your side
So,
of the
so what
story.
should be done now? What do you think should be done?
Tell us your side of the story.
Well, them say, the guy got the election and see who win.
No, they didn't say that.
No. We have a thing. When you go to elections, here's what happened. They have elections every 5 years, but this guy introduces no confidence motion, and they said, well, look here, you got to have elections after 90 days, right? And the matter went before the court, and it is still before the
Matter
court.
still before the court.
Right? There's a judicial process. So what is happening? A government can't vacate the office like that and leave the country to run on
But-
autopilot. You understand? We have other issues. Look at the bauxite workers. They need justice. We have Venezuela, on another hand, doing things there. So we can't just let this place be we just can't leave the country to run on autopilot. There's lots of things to be done. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sankey.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to know why Mr. Muhammad Ali
Yes.
went and used Amra Ali name
Yes, yes.
to do a campaign. He should be charged for that.
Well, what campaign?
Fooling the people.
Well, you know, he's already on 19 charges, you know.
You mean Irfan Ali?
Yeah, Irfan is
Charged.
facing 19
He's
charges.
Fighting with so many dirty tricks.
Yeah. His case is coming up, I think, in April.
Yes, but this one should be a new case. He should be charged for that. He need not to use our name if he want to go on campaign.
What did he say?
What did he say?
Is that he do it like, as though is she going and meet the people to keep a public meeting. And when the people turn up, it was the PPP.
Oh, he fooled the people. Where was this done?
I can't remember. I read it this morning and last night.
Oh, that's very serious.
I think it's somewhere in the interior location.
That's very serious if that
Okay,
happens.
okay. Well, that is a serious allegation which needs to be investigated. You know, for,
There's a misrepresentation.
Yeah, misrepresentation. Maybe it might be a police matter too.
It is on Facebook.
No, but you can't.
No, you've got to be careful with the social media. A lot of things pass there. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to investigate it and see if it's true.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Voice of the People.
How are you, Mr. Sankey?
I'm fine.
Okay, you're fine, and how I'm seeing you fat. All right. Could you ask Mr. Rahman for me which party he belongs to?
I will tell you when you tell me what your name is.
I ain't got to tell. Look on the ID. You are too disrespectful.
Your ID,
I'm a member of
you.
Justice for All Party.
Yes.
You are planning to open your own party.
Lady, why are you coming
And
onto the program to try to insult me? This program here is for you to express your views and opinion on the subject matter that we have talked about, all right? We would not allow you to insult any of the panelists, right? If you want to have a discussion with me privately, let me give you my number. It's 692-5672. You can call me anytime. I can meet you wherever you are at your convenience to have a discussion about me, about my politics, about my religion, and about my personal matters. But
Okay.
not on the public television, okay?
Good afternoon, Voice of the People.
Hi, good afternoon, Sankey.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I calling concerning the election, right?
Yes.
I think man, government should try for do the right thing and don't prolong the election long, and that the country in nothing really going on. Like, okay, it's stagnant.
I
But
see.
think
What
that-
you say?
No, no,
think
I
come
see
to
what
some
you're saying.
decision
Yes.
and do something about it, because this thing only causing a lot of problems, and then both sides are fault. The PPP and the PNC, both sides are fault. So I don't see the whole problem about it, that they're rowing with each other.
Yeah.
And then the country ain't going nowhere. The country's not moving nowhere.
Yeah, the business is
Could I-
slow.
could I-
Business is slow.
could I
Well, what I'm saying is that I see what you're saying. If Jagdeo holds out and there's no parliament, things wouldn't get done and whatnot. We need to have a compromise. We need to have we need to have business going. We need to have a functioning government and until the next election.
Yeah. But you got a point there, right? But this is what I have to say, right? The government should know that they was fall by a no confidence motion, and they should do the right thing and call election. Because I know when Ramataran prorogued Parliament, right?
Yes.
I know about that, but still, do the right thing, call election. We got it.
What is the right? What is the right thing? What is the right thing?
Nothing doing.
No, but
You can't blame one side.
the
It's both
government-
sides got to be blamed, because both sides doing wrong thing.
Now, why is it that Mr. Jagdeo had to call a no confidence vote on a democratically elected government that has not done anything constitutionally wrong in this country?
Yeah.
The government has got a mandate to rule this country until the end of the period of 2020, sometime around May, August. The government has to carry out its mandate. It was elected to do so.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
That's not a problem.
Let me finish, let me finish, my friend. Mr. Jagdeo, from the day that this government came into office, has called a boycott on this government, and it continues to undermine the work of this government. The government is constitutionally elected to manage the economy and the policies and program that it was elected to carry out, and it must be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So,
the problem is not,
Mr. Jagdeo, what has to be
do that, but-
what has to be investigated is Mr. Jagdeo himself, who has acted as a provocateur continuously to disrupt the implementation of policies and program. I have been one of the critics of this government, of which I am part of things that they have not implemented. And it is true. There's a lot of things that our government should implement. There's a lot of things more that it should be doing, and it's not doing. That is true. But Guyanese have the right to be critical about any government, but you have to do it in a proper way. You cannot sabotage the government. You cannot do things that are inimical to the government, because the government is the people. And Mr. Jagdeo needs to act responsibly. If we have a situation where when one government is elected and the opposition is adamantly opposed to it, we can't have government. We cannot have government.
Yeah, he planned this thing before.
Yes.
To overthrow.
He wants to overthrow the government.
Without a coup.
Without the military.
Good
afternoon.
Mr. Sankey and Mr. Rahman.
Yes, sir.
I'm just a layman, but I'm not so...
You're not so
You
late.
have to remember, Mr. General Rahman was speaking about they have no right to call a no confidence motion. I think his memory is very weak, You can remember in 2014...
I didn't say they have no right to call a no confidence vote. It's the way in which... No, don't put words into my mouth.
No,
Let me correct you.
Mr. Sankey, I'd like to speak to you, Mr. Sankey.
No, but let me
All
correct
right,
you.
all right.
Let me correct you. Let me correct you.
No, but let him say, and then you'll rebut.
Let me correct you. Don't put words into my mouth.
I'm not putting words
I did not say that they didn't have the right to put a no. I am saying the way in which they did it. Mr. Jagdeo, I said earlier, if you were listening, that from the moment this government was elected in May 2015, Mr. Jagdeo publicly declared that they were not going to support this government and they will do everything to boycott it and to sabotage
Can I say
it.
something, Mr. Rahman? I don't want to take up most of your time.
Okay.
What I want to say is that any government that keeps blaming opposition for not performing should not be in government. Thank you, gentlemen.
The government is not blaming the opposition. All
right.
What nonsense is that? The government has the mandate and the right to rule, Mr. Sankey.
No, I don't know what he's saying there, because if you're saying that the opposition just wanted to get back into power,
The opposition
and by all
just
means,
want to
this
get
is
back.
the 2020 election is a big election.
Yes.
And they just decided, well, look here, we have to get there, and they saw an opportunity. After the local government elections, they said, look
Mr.
here.
Jagdeo is divided in his own camp. He has a public meeting, and the main leaders of the PPP were not there. So what does that tell you, Mr. Sankey?
Yes.
They were not there. So we are a divided party, and he wants to make it a divided country.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sankey and Mr. Rahman.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it the government have appeal that they have to wait till all these appeal exalted before any election or so could happen?
Yes.
And then another thing what I'm noticing, there's only one ethnic group of people is calling for the government to resign. No other ethnic group is calling for the government to resign. Just this one particular ethnic group. Why this government resign so bad, Christopher Rahman and all them? You understand me? Thank you very much.
Okay, that's an opinion. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes.
Mr. Rahman, please call them task force. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Rahman, please let me call them talk and then you can answer them. Because you're taking up your time, right? One more fast thing. Hello?
Yeah, hello, we're listening.
Okay. The government, sir, hey, what happened? I don't want change in 2050. I want them people that we want change. I personally believe that the PPP is running a family business in the country.
Yes.
But personally, now what I personally, this is me personally thing. Me really save no money. No, I working every day.
Yes.
All I working for is cook and eat and live.
Yes.
God forbid that a sick that happened in the family. Me know what happened. God forbid that. 2010 to 2014, I worked and built the house in Diamond Fresh.
Yeah. But the economy contracted too.
If I could just judge that, things were better at that time. So why saying all this corruption we got in it this year here will be a waste year for the poor people? No, we ain't gonna make no money again this year. People like me, so I do construction work, will punish again this year. Because people never spend their money, especially when March 24th passed. Me know what will happen. So why saying we need something to happen with the president and the opposition? The opposition can't walk in the Freedom House. You understand what I'm saying? The president has called the opposition and then needs to, when this election will happen, if it's July, March, April, but the people need to go on with the business in the country. We can't let this year go on like nothing happening. Right now, we just floating, you know. We got president, we got minister, yes, but we floating. We ain't doing nothing in this country. You go around and find out nothing doing, buddy. We just living like, you know.
Yeah.
God forbid any disaster happen, any big flooding like 2005 or so. Me know what happened with the poor people in this country.
Yeah.
So, I ask you what you have to do. Thank you.
Okay.
No, can I answer the point you
Yeah.
made?
Well, let us just get one more call.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Voice of
Yes,
the
sir,
people.
Mr. Sankey and Mr. Rahman.
Good afternoon, sir.
I think the problem is we need to start making this a PPP of a new coalition problem. This is Guyana.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, the parliament spoke, the court spoke, and we're looking real foolish to the international community. We need to have elections. Like the caller said, the country is floating right now. What's the big deal? Have elections. If you win again, you win. Not necessarily people going to win again.
Yes.
Let's have elections.
Yeah.
Let the country go forward, and that's it.
Yes.
And as far as you're saying that we need the ministers to be in power, it clearly states that we need somebody temporarily there to keep the country flowing.
So
they're not operating in good faith.
Okay, who would have dealt with the Russell? You have a strike at the Russell
not operating in good faith to say we're going to have elections or whatever, everything like that. They're just saying that we're going to appeal and keep this thing stalemating.
No, but you have a strike at the bauxite company, Rusal. 61 striking workers fired. So what happens then? We just continue like that without somebody being able to make a decision?
What the Constitution is saying, we have an interim government just to preserve peace, to keep the country
No,
going.
the
Right now,
Constitution
with all
doesn't
this
say anything but
confusion,
interim. There's nothing in
we
the
need to
Constitution
move.
but interim government. Nothing at all. Thank you very much, sir.
See, everybody got their own interpretation.
Good afternoon.
The misinterpretation of the
Mr. Sankey.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I hear you say that the government is elected by the Constitution.
I didn't say that.
Then, I hear like you said it just now.
I didn't say anything like that. Don't put words in my mouth. Thank you very much.
You just don't understand or they want to make you look like a fool.
Good afternoon, voice of the people.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You know, we're talking about Constitution, we're talking about democracy. I think we're short-minded. Let's look back. When the PPP were in government, they signed into law 2 terms majority. Jack Neo is the one who signed it.
Yes.
So it become part of our Constitution.
Yeah.
So why is it then they carry it to court? Why did they just accept that, okay, this is the Constitution, this is the law? So why is it everybody jumping up now and saying that this government ain't following the Constitution? Let's look at democracy. Every day, Jack, they on the TV talking all kind of thing. Remember when they shut down Channel 6?
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about democracy. Luncheon and radio every day, they're talking all what they want.
Yeah.
Right? So we're talking about Constitution and we're talking about democracy.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Okay, sir. All right, we got one more call here.
Much more time. I want to make a few comments.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm telling you, The cost to go to Port Kaitumo, it was 14,000. They raised that money, the airfare, to 20,000. Poor people are suffering in this country.
Okay, when was it
We need
raised?
to get something done. There's no electricity at that place for hours, sometimes days, nights. No electricity in Port Kaitumo.
So
And
who-
nobody is doing anything.
no.
And these people, if you see the check-in place, it's
But
like a gold pen.
Did they appeal
All
to...
these air services charging so much money to go there.
Okay.
Raise the fee from 40
Okay.
to 20,000.
You made a point there. Air services are charging it. You've got to ask why air services increase the
Somebody
fare.
need to
Secondly,
look into these kind of things.
secondly,
Do some consumer protection, some price, some
no.
control or something.
Secondly, if you have no electricity there, it's been there for the previous 23 years as well. So,
These people are there without no electricity for hours. When was the PPP was 4 hours. Now they're there without for hours, longer hours. You got to go and see these things. Don't jump and say things.
Okay.
You go and see what people are going through.
well, they talk to you.
No?
Talk to your representatives
Yeah.
there. Do you have
There are
local
no
government?
representative there. Nobody looks at anything.
You have local government representatives. You had 2 local government elections. Don't tell
Okay,
me.
just let you know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Okay. Thank you.
That's one of the problems you have, saying. Jeff.
Mr. Ramjatan is on.
He's on?
Yes. One last call
We
in,
don't have
Mr.
much- we don't
Ramjatan.
have much time,
Thanks for accepting the call, Mr. Sankey. Mr. Rahman, don't
Yes, sir.
worry too much. We know what's going on. We're hearing what's going on. I'm seeing what's going on. However,
You have to speak up a little bit more.
all the persons who are calling and asking for election, please actually tell me if anyone then named Keith Lowenfield there on that telephone, because you was watching it, Mr. Sankey. Because I don't know who holding this election, what they calling for. Yes, it is indeed true that Anil Nandalal used Amna Ali name in region number 9, right? Just the other day. And he said when one of the leaders from region 9, the council member, asked him if he's a rubber stamp, his exact word was that if he is a rubber stamp, PPP, all the members are rubber stamp.
Okay.
It is quote unquote. It's not only on Facebook, it's in the media right now. You guys have that to actually look at. The person that's talking about the fear just now, that's not nothing to do with government. That's an air service. That's a private matter.
Yes.
You cannot actually tell the public that, the razor, that's not we problem, that's not government problem. However, the alleviation of fuel could kind of alleviate the prices or so. However, I have persons who travel, and just the ministers, just last weekend, all the ministers went to region 9 and other different regions in the interior. So they know what's going on. It's not that they don't know what's going on, and PPP this and PPP does an election. Here what happened? They don't have a government, and it's moving. We have the blacklist. Somebody just said this government floating or the ministry floating or not me floating. This country is one current Caribbean country. It's still having growth while all the other rest is not getting. Even though Jack Leo tell majority of the persons who have economic and economy have we struggling to survive, but we're surviving by the grace of God. Not Jack Leo, he likes we got holding back the money. One time, Rastaman was on the show and he said one thing that I still want to know, why our president did not take up that mantle, change the damn currency, see how actually hold any money.
Okay, we have a limited time now.
We're coming to an end, Mr. Ramjatan.
So we're coming
Sorry.
out to the end. So thank you for your contribution.
Thanks,
Saturday.
Enjoy yourself. Mr. Rahman, don't worry with the call too much. They was just aggressive because they heard you say some stuff on the show, and they just want to know where you are or not. It's right that you did give your number. They can always call you. They can always talk to you. I did. We always have our differences because we're individual.
Okay.
Just let them go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramjatan.
So what is happening here is that we have a lot of people calling in to push their party viewpoint, But we said, if you're in Port Kaituma and you have a problem, you had 2 local government elections, you must have a representative there to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
There
Don't
are-
tell me you don't.
Mr. Sankey,
Yes.
there's some people who call in who belong to different groups.
Yes.
Have different views. They want
Yes.
us to take their view or opinion.
Yes.
We have the right to express our own view or opinion.
Yes, yes.
And to give guidance in some
Okay,
respect.
but we have to close off now.
I have just one or two points to make. I have been very critical of the fact that some ministers in this government have not been doing their work.
Yes.
And I have also been very critical, the point that the woman made, which you said, that we have elected representatives throughout the country. We have had local government elections on 2 occasions. So there are councillors and there are functionable NDCs. The PPP won most of the seats in these NDCs. So what you do when something is happening in the area, you go to the leader of the council or the NDC or your constituency councillor and talk to them about it. When they can't do something about it, you go to the member of parliament who is in that area and they take it up through the ministry and so on.
Okay.
So they don't have to call our program to get things done. We're not the government.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening, and remember to tune in the next time
On
the
Saturday.
Voice of the People. No, Saturday's on. Thank you very much. I don't know if you're going to have it.